First, I wouldn't do a guesswork with the number of states that have domesticated it. Like, except Kano for now, that has not domesticated, that is signed in the law. But the concern for us and for any advocate, man, is that what is the state of implementation? It's okay, I mean, to have a law, but what is the state of implementation? And that's why we would always give kudos to Lagos, because Lagos State stands out as one of the states that have gone into implementation. So perpetrators are caught, they're taken to the court, and justice has been administered. Well, I think 2 years back, we had like a website that was made national where perpetrators are listed. People, especially those that have, been convicted, are listed so that you know who that person is. I like the fact that some of them that have been jailed, they have long-term jail, they have long jail terms. So they're keeping away from humans. But let's come back to your question, which is so interesting. Why are the figures rising? We found out that even in crisis, that's when we have a lot of these figures rising. Like the figures we had at COVID. I mean, it was mind-blowing. Here were people locked in who were supposed to, keep safe in terms of harnessing the best times for health. And what we had was the high figures of women that have been abused. And the concern again is that, okay, it spreads across board. It's not just at the family level is even more. For me, I keep wondering. We have more fathers. We don't have the figures here, abusing their daughters. It's an abomination even in our tradition and culture. But it's there, it's happening. And I think why it's because the world has become an open space. So people can talk about. Before now, people won't talk. A woman that has been abused, say for example, a woman that has been raped, nobody would say, okay, quiet. You become stigmatized.
Because of the stigma. Yeah.
But the issue now is speak out. We need to know, no excuse. That's the theme. No excuse for abusing a woman. No excuse for... Look, I mean, how do you speak to the psyche of the man who gets turned on with a 3-year-old, with a 3-month-old, and abuse that child? Some of these abuse are not... They can't repair them. You can't repair the trauma that lives with the child, with that victim. I don't want to call them victim, for a person that has been so abused for life. A raped child lives with that forever. You cannot take that away. It takes the grace of God, and cancel it. And then we have several other things that we need to talk about. How does a child who is raped, who understands that what uncle is doing is not right? So we need to keep talking about it until we get to the 0 level where we do not have complaints, when we do not have it happening. That's when we would stop with the 16 days of activism. And for me, I keep saying, it's not about 16 days. It's an everyday thing. And I think I want to say that my constituency, the media, has a lot of role to play. Play in the sense that oftentimes we don't give the visibility that is needed for crimes committed against human. Take, for example, some of the crimes submitted under the GBV. It's not just rape, abuse, mental torture, emotional torture. And we can see that it cuts us, because these days, if you look, more women are down with mental illness because of what they're going through. Agreed that, and it has its impact on our economy, on our social life, on our tradition, on our well-being, on our productivity. It's one crime that everybody has a role to play in. It's a human torture, and you don't have to be a victim. You don't have for you to listen out to people that have been so abused. Some of them become they alienate themselves from the society. They see every man. They cringe Because when we see them, and, you know, it breaks my heart as a mother of girls, myself, and thank God that we were not exposed to it, but anybody could be a victim. What do you say to an 80-year-old woman who is actually getting ready to, you know, to go home, that has been so abused, so raped? So it cuts across age, it cuts across class. But what we are saying is we have a law, VAB. Let's implement that law to the letter.
Implementation, of course, it's key. Thank you very much,